All right. Greetings, all. Thank you for returning to my channel. I'm Professor Noonie. Allow me to welcome you back to the Stanley Parable, the Ultra Super Duper Deluxe Edition. We are just starting back up immediately. I have not turned the game off.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I think this run... Was this always yellow? Was that door always open? I think this run I'm going to do exactly what he tells me.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We go into the board meeting. I'm going to follow it all the way through.
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So we did most of this already.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover...
What was it, 2483 or something?
...of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf.
No, I'm not doing any of that.
Paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret.
God, I forget. I should have skipped all of this. Sorry.
845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay, this time we're actually going to go through the mind control facility.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
I was up there at one point.
Did he have the strength to find out?
Push this button for the security camera, I guess.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Yep.
Their true nature revealed.
Originally, it was up
Each
there.
bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's code.
Crap, I forgot to look for mine.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control?
I'm 241, right?
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Well, why is 234 the only one that's lit up? All right, let's go.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Oh, that's a metaphor for a lot of people.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Well, thanks,
and as
LEDs,
the
bro.
cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
So yeah, this ending, we're going to do everything that the narrator tells us to. I think that's it, though, isn't it? Or does it come back to life?
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Yeah, I got here pretty quick.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley
When I move, the door
stepped
stops
through the
moving.
open door.
We made it, though.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
I don't remember this
Feeling of
ending.
liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Well, that was Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed the game. Really quick, short, sweet, straight to the point. And, yeah. That was a happy ending, I suppose. Once we listen to the narrator, but we're right back in our office. 427, that's what we are.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How
What?
amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing?
Yeah, this is different. He didn't say this before.
When Stanley came to a set of
Oh.
2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
He didn't say that before, though, at the beginning. What's that noise?
Yet there was not a single person here
Okay.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his coming to a staircase.
No,
Stanley
let's go
walked
downstairs this
upstairs to
time.
his boss's office.
What's this? I can't read that. Whatever.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why
I can't
had
read
he
that.
taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
How the flip
Maybe, he thought to himself,
did this
maybe
car get in
I'm
here?
not
Okay, maybe right
crazy.
here, but why would you
All of
park
my
right here?
coworkers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
This is
None of it
repeating.
made any
Oh no,
logical
looping
sense.
hallway, guys.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
A true
For
gamer.
example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Looping
Well,
hallway for a true gamer, you know what that
no,
means.
Stanley said to himself.
Means
"This
we're
is
about to
all
encounter
too
some
strange.
true
This can't be
horror.
real." And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all
No, I
a
didn't.
dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
There's a camera right
He
there.
wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life
Aye,
job
aye,
pushing
aye.
buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Or not.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he
Whoa.
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled
I don't recall
that he
this.
had
This is
still not
cool.
woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
We're breaking the fourth
dreaming
wall.
about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very
Do I even
odd,
have to keep
and
moving?
wondered
I don't
if
think
this
so.
voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air
I'm not moving
of the
anymore.
world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Oh, God, this guy sounds like a self-assigned
I am
counselor.
Okay.
Please don't jump scare. Nope, I'm still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear
Oh, the
my
color
voice?
changed.
Who am I? Who am I?
No jump scare,
And
please.
everything went black.
Okay, now I'm actually...
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day,
I think I remember
her walk was
this.
interrupted
This
by
ending.
the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man.
You jump out the
He
building?
was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in
Not
that moment,
really.
she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Well, it doesn't look like he jumped out of a building from a big height. But obviously that, we're not exactly sure how he ended up outside laying on the sidewalk.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay.
What could it mean?
So this is what I'm
Stanley
going to do.
decided to go to the meeting room.
I'm going to
Perhaps he had
follow
simply missed a memo.
this guy, the narrator's voice, all the way until I get to right into the mind control facility, and then past all the TV monitors, and then right before I get to the very last room where the big doors open, because I saw some buttons there, and I'm going to start messing with those as soon as I get in that second to last room. So stay tuned. So I don't know what happened, I don't know why the recording didn't unpause when I told it to. When I was going to go do that, go into the second last room, I saw a door that said new content on it, and I went through it, and it was just explaining how, you know, it was new content that they made for the game. You're on this little like carnival ride looking thing, and all it really did was put you in an elevator. You went up, you went in a circle, you jumped in a circle 30 times. Then you went through another hallway into another elevator, and it took you into a room that just said, "Thank you for enjoying the new content." And the narrator was pissed off, and then he restarted the game, but it didn't take you to the original office. It took you to like this warehouse-looking place. And as I exited the warehouse, I walked past the vent, and the vent opened, and the narrator said, "Hey, come inside." I could have went into the vent or into a hallway. I decided to go into the vent, and it was at this point I realized I wasn't recording, so I apologize.
You remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past.
This was because all I did was jump in a circle, go into another elevator, go into a room that had just had like a big notepad that said, "Thank you for enjoying the new content," and that was it. So he's saying that was all the new content was, even though all of this is new content as we're playing it.
And how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Is this Dark Souls type of thing?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
This is odd.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap Xbox port?
A cheap Xbox
Remember
port.
back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then...
Yeah, but I didn't play it because I didn't have a good PC.
Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
The first dollar they ever made from the game? I don't know. Stanley Parable demonstration. That was a demo, huh? It is impossible to get this achievement. I would like to know... Don't play for 5 years? Baloney. They got an award for this game. Good for them.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
We're right back in the same building. Are we? No, we're not.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the Xbox. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise. These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back To have it all over again? Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no,
let's find out,
God,
bro.
No, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games.
Pressurized gas. They can't say Steam. That is hilarious.
Down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Pressurized gas. I like that.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny.
I wonder if this is a real review.
Humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art.
I thought that was going to hurt me.
Write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
It's so funny that they call it pressurized gas. Here's another review.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness.
If you can speak.
Quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well,
I really wonder if these are real reviews.
But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to.
I looked at the door
These
at the
black
perfect time.
marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
I bet this turns into a boat.
To say?
Or it lets me float on it.
Doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto.
That startled me.
It's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
I don't think that's a bad idea. What?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's
And there's
what
a clock
the players
right
have been
there.
asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations.
Thank you, bro. Can we do it again?
Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go...
Thank you.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time
I went for
the
like
button
45
has been
minutes or
skipping
something.
is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
What?
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my
I thought it was only like
out of the room.
like 20 minutes.
The door is gone. It's completely gone.
Oh, crap.
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe. I have to know that sooner or later...
I wonder if I do it again, some of the lights will disappear.
You're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
I'm hesitant not to press it.
I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the
Or I'm
problem?
hesitant to press
Why
it.
did
I'm like
Cookie Nine's
tempted to not
opinion
press
matter
it.
so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no...
Okay.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're
I knew
back.
it.
Oh, my
I knew the lights were
goodness.
going to go away.
I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with.
No door.
You think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't
If I do it again,
feel
that
like
light will
what
probably
we've
be gone.
already been doing? Me just talking? But it is...
Yep. Completely dark.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
How long did that go?
Much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you
Wow.
ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is...
Okay, that's enough of that. No door. And now he's not even here. I guess I have to press it again, because I think no matter how long I wait, the narrator is not going to come back. The clock doesn't even move on its own. Clock fell and it broke. Maybe the button broke. Yeah, that's not annoying at all. Let me check behind this one more time. It would suck if the button broke. And the narrator's not even here anymore. Kind of feel a little
But they
lonely.
didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all
bro,
of their
you know I'm
pitiful
back.
demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others.
So you're not
But of
going to
course,
acknowledge that I'm back?
Absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh...
I don't know what else to do. Whoa! Wait, was this here already? Please no jump scares. Oh, I bet you the tree is gonna grow. That'll be a good indicator as to how long we've been here.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
That's still loading screen.
The end is never the end, 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 is never.
I think it's just looping the audio.
End is never the end, is never.
The tree is not any different. Whoa. The structural integrity is failing. Whoa. Can we get out now? I guess if we keep skipping, the building will collapse. There's a light. I can't jump. Yeah, the door's gone. Wow. It's been that long. Eventually, something's gonna fall. I'm gonna be able to climb up it. Oh no. Is it winter? I do not like that sound. Is there a war going on outside or something, man? Why are we buried again? Or is it just nighttime? It's just nighttime. Probably a different season. Did the sun go away? What the flip? What is that sound? I don't think I want to know. And now we are tilted. We are buried, man. Oh! What the flip is this? Oh, that was on top. There was water. It's all dried up. I can't climb on top of this. I would have liked to. Or can I? Nope. Wow. Now there's not even a button to press. It broke. I don't know where to go. Oh! That might have been the end. We just stayed there until the bed of water just dried up. And here we are. That was a crazy ending.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand.
That's a little
It was only
different.
a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were.
See, this was
Just
the
a
new...
matter of time.
I saw that. Look at this. New content. That's funny. I think I'm gonna end the video here, though. That was pretty interesting. I really liked that. Like, it's like every time we pressed it, we just went forward even more years and years and years until, I don't know, that just the Earth, or at least that portion of the Earth, just came some desolate wasteland or a desert, and all the water was gone, and so was everything. But I guess you gotta remember that was the memory zone. So who knows what happened? Maybe the narrator went away, and so did all of his memories. But that was very interesting. I'm very excited to see what this store has to offer once I go through it again. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you all to those who came to check out my video for watching my video. I appreciate all the views and notoriety I can get. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And as always, take care and God bless.